Greetings, was asked to do a short recording on try linear regression from lesson 4. This is problem 11. The function f is defined by the following table. Based on the table, determine f of 6, write the specific ordered pair associated with this result. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we see that there is the value of 6 in our table, and there is the value of f of 6. So that says f of 6 is equal to 26.24, and they asked us also to write that as an ordered pair. So that is 6 by 26.24. All right, now they want us to use our graphing calculator to determine the linear regression equation, or the regression line, and give that back to them here in the following table. Okay, so let's get our calculator out. So if you have not yet done so, go ahead and go to Stat, go to Edit, and enter the data in L1 and L2. You should pause the video now if you don't have that done and go get that done. And then when you come back, like now, we can continue on. Okay, so once we've got the data in there, we're going to go to Stat, we're going to go to Calc, and we're going to go to option number 4 for linear regression. Now the 84s are menu driven. They come back with this menu here where you enter in L1 and L2 respectfully. If you're on an 83, what you're going to see on your screen now is linreg AX plus B. You don't really need to do anything with it if you're on 83. Just leave that alone, because the default for that command is L1 and L2 for your X list and your Y list respectfully. So we'll just assume that that's the case in all of our calculators. And so if you're on an 83, just hit an enter. If you're on an 84, go on down here to calculate, press enter for calculate, and you should get the following result. Now, depending on how your calculator is set up, you may see an R squared and an R. If you're not seeing an R squared and an R, don't worry about it. We don't need that this semester. That's a statistics thing. If you are seeing it, ignore it. We just need the A and the B. Okay, so we need AX plus B, and they want us to round that off to, let's see, what do they say? 3 decimal places? Okay, so that's going to be A is 0.323. So we're going to get Y is equal to 0.323x plus our corresponding value of B, and it looks like B is going to be what, 24.155. Okay, so they ask us to do that again, but this time using function notation. Rationale here, what they're trying to get you some exposure to, is the fact that in many times we want to change out our regression variables to be representative of the actual values, and we don't always want to use X and Y. Maybe, you know, V and T's, or lots of other different possible variables. Okay, so now they ask us to go down and give them a scatter plot with the regression line on top of the scatter plot. So let's go back to the calculator. We need to get the regression line into the Y equals menu. See, it's a Y equals AX plus B. So we'll hit our Y equals key, and we'll go in and put in 0.323 x plus 24.155. Okay, now we want to get that on top of a scatter plot. Well, we need to go turn the scatter plot on also. So let's hit a second on the Y equals. Let's go into plot 1. Let's turn that on. Make sure that the type highlighted is scatter plot. That's the first option. If you do not have L1 and L2 respectively in your X list and your Y list, you can adjust that easily by going second and the number 1 to get an L1, and a second and the number 2 to get an L2. If it's just L1 and L2, you don't have to mess with it. All right, now we'd actually like to see the graph on our calculator. The easiest way to do that is go ahead and get out of here by doing a second and a quit, and then press zoom and go down to option number 9. Option number 9 in your view screen, or excuse me, in your zoom menu, is zoom stat. In other words, it fits the screen to the data. So we'll go ahead and hit an enter, and gloriously enough, there shows up our regression line and the scatter plot. Okay, now they want the window settings, so we'll press window, and it tells us that what they did here on the X-min was negative 1.2, X-max was 13.2, Y min was 23.05. It didn't bother going down to 0 because notice that the smallest value we had in our table was 23.76, and then up to 28.64 for our Y max. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a rough sketch of that. So let's go back and press graph again so we can kind of see it. So it looks like over here, grab my line tool, that our line was coming up not quite unlike that, and that our scatter plot, I think I can put that on there pretty accurately. So let's see, it's look like I'm going to be there, yeah, okay. So come in here, and I put a point here, put a point there, put a point there, put a point there, and then we got a point here, and we got a point here, okay? All right, so that's pretty good, but we should also label this. We should put an X down here, and we should put a Y over here for our axes, okay? All right, so using the regression equation to determine f of 6, write the specific ordered pair and the associated with its results. Okay, so this time they want us to use that equation. So to find out what f of 6 is, that's going to be f of 6 is equal to 0.323 times 6 plus 24.155. In other words, they just want us to evaluate the function at 6. So let's go ahead and do that. Get out of here, and we're going to put in 0.323 times 6, and then plus 24.155. Hit an enter, and we get back 26.093. So f of 6 is equal to 26.093, and then they also wanted as ordered pair, so that's 6 by 26.093. Okay, so just in statistics parlance, this up here, this ordered pair, has a name. This is called the observed. This ordered pair down here, which was based on my regression line, this is called the predicted. But that's next semester, right? So your answers in A and D should be different. Why is this the case? Refer to problem 7 for help. Okay, why are they different? It's from what I just said. This one was done using the predictor line. Okay, so in other words, that's using my regression line. And then this one up here, this one came from observation. And what we notice is that the line, if you look at your scatter plot, let's go back to the calculator here, it's a little clearer. If we go back to our scatter plot, we see that at 6, we can go ahead and do a trace here. We go up to 6 on the 6th data point. Notice that that data point does not fall exactly on the line. It's off of it a bit, which we expect when we're doing regression. That's why it's called a scatter plot. There's a bit of scatter to it. Okay, I'll let you put in the actual type in the verbiage there. Hopefully that all makes sense. Please do not be shy about asking for additional help if this was not enough.